Sometimes the heaviest burden we carry is the weight we put on ourselves, right?
Absolutely, yep. It's like being your own worst critic, isn't it?
Exactly. You see, there's this idea that forgiving yourself is crucial. I mean, even if you've made some mistakes along the way, holding on to that guilt is, well, it's like chaining yourself to the past, you know?
Right? And I think what strikes me most is how the author emphasizes that it's not about making excuses for what's done, but really about not being your own enemy. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's fascinating how we tend to extend compassion to others so readily, understanding their struggles and offering grace. Yet when it comes to ourselves, it's often a different story altogether.
hmm, exactly. There's this example mentioned about how actions from our past, whether it's cheating on someone or acting out under peer pressure, can haunt us indefinitely if we don't learn to forgive ourselves.
Yes, yep. And it's almost like those memories stick around like crazy glue, making it hard to move forward. It's like it's like we're set in our ways of self-condemnation, right?
Definitely. It reminds me of that idea, the notion that standing in the mirror, confronting your own reflection, is the hardest part. I mean, if you can't see yourself with kindness, then how can you heal?
Exactly. I mean, the real beauty here is the message. Forgiving ourselves doesn't mean forgetting what happened or avoiding accountability. It's more about recognizing our own humanness, the wounds we carry, and choosing to nurture ourselves rather than beat ourselves down.
Right on. But here's what I find interesting. Sometimes it almost sounds, a bit too forgiving of ourselves, like, should we not also be driven by remorse? I mean, isn't a little grief over our actions valuable?
I get your point, and uh it's a delicate balance. You see, remorse can prompt us to change things for the better, but if we cling too hard to that guilt, it becomes self-destructive. It's like, a double-edged sword. Remorse can be a motivator for growth if you practice self-compassion, but it can also keep you trapped if it turns into endless self-reproach. Yes.
Yep, that's such a great point. And the idea is really about finding that middle ground where you hold yourself accountable, but don't let that accountability become a source of constant pain.
Right, exactly. It's not about erasing the past. It's about recognizing that, yes, you've made mistakes, and yes, they hurt, but there's also a capacity within you for love, for kindness. It's like a pathway back to your own heart.
I love that imagery, the pathway back to your own heart. It's, so powerful. And telling yourself, I love you still, is almost, a gentle whisper of acceptance, even in the midst of regret.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that phrase, I love you still, is perhaps one of the most liberating mantras because it acknowledges the flawed nature of our journey, but also the unwavering capacity for unconditional love.
It's like saying, I see you, with all your scars and imperfections, and I still choose to care. That, to me, is a profound act of self-forgiveness.
Absolutely. And when you put it that way, it almost feels um as though forgiving yourself is the first step towards real freedom. Not the kind you get by erasing errors, but the kind that comes from um accepting every part of your past and choosing to grow from it.
Right? And that notion of growth is, so crucial. I mean, we all fall, we all make mistakes, and each of those moments is a chance to learn more about who we really are beneath all that guilt.
Exactly. It's like falling off a bike. It's painful, but it teaches you how to ride better next time. It's like every mistake is a little bump in the road and not the end of the journey.
I agree. And, speaking of journeys, I think this message also challenges us to see self-forgiveness not as a one-time fix, but, as a daily practice. It's something you have to tend to, just like any relationship that matters.
Right. It's a daily discipline. Every day, you have the choice to either lock yourself away in regret or step into the light of your own compassion. It's like, doing a little self-check to ensure you're not being your own worst enemy.
That's beautifully put. But, don't you sometimes think that if we forgive ourselves too easily, we might lose that drive to not repeat the same mistakes?
I understand that concern. However, forgiving yourself isn't about dropping accountability. It's about um learning to use those mistakes as stepping stones. It's like recognizing that the same wound that caused the pain can also be the source of your healing if you let it.
Yup, that makes sense. So it's not an excuse to, not strive to do better, but rather a recognition that, our errors don't define our entire being.
Exactly. It's the idea of reclaiming your narrative. Remember, you're not just a sum of your mistakes. You have countless moments of love, kindness, and potential that balance out the missteps.
That's so true. And by doing that, you sort of create space for, genuine happiness and authentic living. It's as much about practical self-care as, it is about emotional freedom.
Right. It's like a breath of fresh air in a room filled with stale air. If you continue to dwell on the negative, you can never see the lightness that comes when you let that burden go. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think what's also interesting is the call to action. It's not just about inner work alone, but also about sharing that journey with others. It reminds us that healing is often a collective process.
Yes, exactly. Whether it's through one-on-one conversations or supportive spaces like heart share circles, the idea is that together we can find the strength to forgive ourselves and move forward. There's a real community vibe in this approach.
Indeed. And it's refreshing because it tells us that our struggles aren't unique, that every single one of us, at some point, has been, caught up in our own self-criticism.
Yes, it's like a warm reminder that we're all in this messy, beautiful human experience together. We make choices that hurt, but we also have the capacity to love, forgive, and transform. Right?
Absolutely. And, I think this whole discussion really challenges us to rethink what it means to be accountable to ourselves. Instead of, self-debasement, it's about gentle accountability, the kind that motivates rather than paralyzes.
Exactly. And in the end, forgiving yourself is like coming home. It's a gesture of self-love that, bit by bit, breaks those chains of shame. And honestly, isn't that one of the bravest things you can do for your own well-being?
For sure. And I love that perspective. It's like choosing to live with grace rather than with regret every single day. That kind of courage is truly inspiring.
Absolutely. It's as if by forgiving ourselves, we're saying to our imperfect past, I see you, I forgive you, and I choose to move forward. And that is a powerful declaration of self-love and resilience.
Yep, that's a message that really resonates. It's a gentle yet firm reminder that self-compassion isn't weakness. It's the cornerstone of true freedom and genuine happiness.
Exactly. And when you live that truth, it kind of transforms everything. You start to embrace your whole self, imperfections and all, and that's where real healing begins.
Right on. So, in our own lives, whether it's mending old wounds or striving to be kinder to ourselves, it's clear that forgiving oneself is not an act of condoning past mistakes, but a step toward, reconnecting with your authentic self.
Indeed. And I think if we all made that choice of treating ourselves with the same understanding we offer others, we could truly create a ripple effect of compassion and growth. It starts with us, one reflective moment at a time.
Exactly. And, that's the kind of message that leaves a lasting impact. It's a call to break free from self-blame and, well, embrace the messy, beautiful reality of being human.
Absolutely. So here's to every brave soul out there learning to forgive themselves, to live with less self-judgment, and ultimately to love deeply and truly every part of who they are.
Here, here. That's a powerful note to end on, and a reminder that self-forgiveness is, truly the beginning of profound inner freedom.